Hello everyone, this is David Martin at Frost Driving School, here talking today about making left and right turns. Now, we have three different types of intersections. We have an intersection that has stop signs, four-way stop signs, and yield signs. So make sure when you're making these turns that you are very aware of what's going on in front of you, next to you, and behind you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Performing basic driving maneuvers properly depends upon using speed control, steering control, and good visual habits with consistency. All right, once you have to learn to perform one maneuver, then you can use those behaviors frequently and develop them into a habit. So when we're making turns, especially, understand this. Being a safe and responsible driver requires communicating your intentions to the other drivers on the road. The most common method of communication, as you know, is through the use of turn signal lights. So develop the habit of signaling every time you plan to turn, change lanes, pull to the side, or re-enter the traffic. All right. Signals at least 3 to 5 seconds ahead in advance to begin any kind of maneuver or give other drivers adequate time to react to your actions. Even though all vehicles have turn signal devices, there actually may be times when you're going to have to use your hand signals for other types of protection. And so make sure you're aware, sticking your hand out straight is the left, hand sticking up is to the right, and hand sticking down near the side of the car is obviously for slowing down or stopping. Those are also basic signals that you're going to see people riding bicycles or even scooters or something as well. Making right and left turns whenever you're approaching an intersection. Let's just do a regular two-way stop. Okay, we're approaching up to a two-way stop. We want to make sure that we're aware that we have the proper turn signal on. We're going to make a right-hand turn at the stop sign. We look up into the mirror real quick. We come up, we make a good, proper stop in alignment with the stop sign. In the absence of a white line, then the stop sign becomes your stopping point, okay? Now, brake early to reduce your speed, and then search to the left, the front, and to the right zones of the vehicle, looking for pedestrians and bicyclists, and then making sure that you check left again as you begin to pull away from the stop sign. Look really quickly to the left and then begin turning the wheel, hand over hand, and then make sure your wheel is good to go. And as you accelerate, the wheel will gradually slide back into the straight line position. That takes a little practice to get used to that, but again, the most important thing is to allow that hand and wheel to slide through as you give a little bit of gas. You want to be in control, but all cars are designed that as you accelerate, the wheel will go back straight for you. So don't grip onto that thing too hard and it makes you turn back into the curb. Now let's do the same stop sign, and this time we're going to make a left-hand turn. All right, now for a left turn, don't slide over to the right side near the curb. You want to stand your vehicle or move your vehicle over to the left towards the center. Make sure you check your rear behind you, get down to about 10, 12 miles an hour, make a good proper stop. And when you're ready to go, you have check left, right, and left. And as you let your foot off the brake, make sure the steering wheel gets past the curb to the left before you pull your left hand down. And that way you'll be able to come through the turn, accelerate about halfway through. And then as you go about halfway down the block here, we're going to allow that vehicle wheel to steer back to the correct position. And then look back in your rearview mirror, make sure no one came up behind you as you're coming through there. Now, almost the same thing when we're making a left or right-hand turn at a yield sign, but with a yield sign, just make sure that you understand this is almost like what people call a California roll. We're watching as we come into the intersection to the left and to the right. We're looking for pedestrians, bicyclists, anything that's approaching. And the closer we get to the yield sign, we still want to get down to about 10 to 12 miles an hour. And as we approach into it, we're looking left as we make a right at the yield sign to make sure that no one is coming. And then we come around the corner and looking for parked cars. We're looking for anything that could be in the way. So make sure you check that speed. It's almost a stop, or we're just coming into what people would refer to as a California roll. And since there's no cars, we'll go ahead and make that turn. Last thing, when it comes to making left and right-hand turns and you're the through street, in other words, you don't have a stop sign and you're going to make a left turn, you want to make sure as you approach and you come up to it, You check your rearview mirror, you have your turn signal on. Once you get down to 10 to 12 miles an hour, make sure your steering wheel gets past the corner you're turning at. And you're going to make that left-hand turn, foot off the brake. Come through there, halfway through the turn, give it some gas. And again, let the steering wheel slide through your hands, you're in control. And then once you get the vehicle back into the straight position, check your rearview mirrors and drive to the next location that you're going to. All right, and finally, the right turn. Now, we're coming up to a right turn, there's no stop sign, so we're gonna go ahead and look in our mirror. We have our right blinker on, we slow down to 10 to 12 miles an hour. And then as we make this turn, when our front bumper is near the curb that we're turning at, we pull that right hand down, left over the top and right hand down again. Halfway through the turn, we give a little bit of gas. That pulls us through. The wheel will slide back to the left. And once we get that wheel straight, then look back into the mirror, make sure that you know what's going on behind you so we can focus on what's behind us in there. All right, so a lot of practice. If you do this at least 20 to 25 times every time you go out driving into a neighborhood, I would strongly suggest with you or your parents, when you're out doing this, that you say, hey, look, let's do like 10 to the left and 10 to the right, and then we'll go going somewhere else and we'll try it again. But practice this. Be aware, driving is 90% visual. Make sure that you're keeping your eyes in front of you, to the left and to the right of you. And then finally, don't forget, basic maneuvering. The basic maneuvers properly depends upon using speed control, steering control, and good visual habits with consistency. Okay, so now you have the basic instruction, basic maneuvers, accelerating, braking, and cornering, making these left and right hand turns from both the stopping position, the yield position, and also just making a left across traffic or a right at the intersections. Be safe on the road. Thank you for watching. More videos coming your way.